beat the Georgia Bulldogs, you're gonna feel the Bulldog. Standing up and cheering September till the 1st of June.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
Boom! Yes, sir, Clark.
This is show number 89.
89, baby. Crank it up. Turn that radio dial up about 5 notches, baby. Get that iPhone to put that air button, that top air button. Clark, give it a couple clicks. Give it a couple clicks up, and let's get this thing ramped up.
Welcome, folks. Episode number 89.
Yes, sir.
Your Georgia Bulldogs, 4-1. Bouncing back this week over Auburn.
Yeah.
Big 31-13 victory over those sorry Auburn Tigers. Hey,
Yes.
we're at least 1-1 on against State of Alabama.
Clark, it is always a blessing, and I always enjoy it. And I feel like it's been watered down because that just trash of a school in Opelika, Alabama, is just not very good at football, right? Historically, they might have a good year once every decade or so, have some voodoo happen and whatnot. But the Georgia Bulldogs own the Auburn Tigers, Clark. And again, they have Auburn's hasn't come into Athens since 2005, before like an iPhone was invented. Back in 2005, Clark, golly, looking back in 2005, heck, we might have been like back then with an antenna, with the old dial on that where you had to get somebody outside the house right there and saying where the antenna lines up, and kind of coordinate that when you're doing the dial where you get the static and get the picture.
Yeah.
That's like the last time that Auburn's beat Georgia and Athens, and it's going to continue that way for another couple of years. And I love it. I love it. Inject it into that vein right there in my forearm, Clark, every time. Love beating Auburn. Never take it for granted, baby. 31-13, great day in Athens. And I'm trying to think if we actually did have DirecTV in 2005. I can't remember.
I don't know. I think it's cable.
I think we might have had cable, DirecTV. That might have been the early days of TiVo, Clark, a matter of fact. You remember TiVo?
I remember Movie Gallery and Blockbuster. I don't really remember.
TiVo was your first way of recording a program.
A program.
Not
a program.
A program. Recording a program was TiVo. Like, hey, we need to make sure we TiVo the Georgia game Saturday, right? Yeah. That way we could go back and watch it. Now, you just hit the record button. But, it was a whole process, man. Well, golly, just taking up progress. What we get, where we're at. But, hey, that's my rant on progress. Let's go. Let's ramp it up.
Let's do it. Well, folks, we got a good episode for you guys. We're going to start with sort of a rant here about our game day atmosphere. We've got a lot to say on that. Yeah. We've got a weekly concession stands report. Got some new patrons this week. Want to shout them out.
Yeah, we are.
Clark's Fun Facts makes a return.
Good.
We're going to talk X's and O's, Georgia's offense, Georgia's defense versus Auburn, put a bow on that game. And then we're going to move on to Mississippi State. Big matchup this week. Mississippi State's an awful team, but you can't overlook them because the next game on our schedule is one in which it's very easy for you to overlook your this week's opponent, which is Mississippi State. So can't look past the Bulldogs out there in
Starkville, Mississippi.
Starkville, that's right.
Starkville, Mississippi.
Oxford, but that's not right. We got some Week 5 games we're going to talk about. What a weekend in college football! My gosh, it's almost like we're getting some shades of 2007. College football season. Just chaos, and I love it. I'm here for it. And that's what, this new conference realignment does. This is what NIL does. This is what transfer portal does. It does keep things more interesting. It's not the same game, but in a lot of ways it still is. So we'll talk more about that. We'll have pick 'em this week. And then we got a new segment at the very end, Adam.
We do.
No more game of the week, or at least we'll put it on hold.
We're just putting it on the shelf right now.
Yeah.
Putting it on the shelf, Clark. We're not putting it in the trash. We're putting it on the shelf.
There you go. We got a new segment called Pick 6. And we'll talk about what that is later, but it ought to be pretty fun, I'd say.
I love it.
And then score predictions at the end for this Saturday. So let's go back to the Georgia-Auburn game, Adam.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about the atmosphere because I think there's a lot we want to say about this. So I'm going to let you start us off here. What's kind of your thoughts on the atmosphere? Is homecoming It was a pretty hot day, 85 degrees.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, Clark, I'll be honest with you. It was definitely not the rowdy atmosphere that we've come to know here at Sanford Stadium for the past few years. Since Kirby Smart has brought this program up to the upper echelon of college football, Sanford Stadium has gotten rowdier. You know, you couldn't say Sanford Stadium was a consistently rowdy venue back in the day until the past, I don't know, really even a couple years into I would say 2017. The Mississippi State game in 2017 forward, it really started to get, you know, with some, I don't know, with some sometimes here and there that it wasn't, but really definitely since 2021, it has been one of the toughest places to play in America, you know, and Saturday did not live up to that expectation, Clark. Yeah. You know, with a historic rival, Auburn, coming to town. And I know Auburn just hasn't had the appeal as a threat to Georgia here the past few years. I know last year in Opelika it was close, but when they come to Athens, they haven't won, like I said, leading off the show since 2005. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it's Auburn. We hate Auburn, man. And anytime you get the opportunity, you get one day, Clark, out of 365 days to see Georgia and Auburn play football, man. And if you don't take advantage of that, if you don't take advantage of one of the 6 days out of the 365 days a year the good Lord gives you, and every fourth year he gives you 366, Clark, to go in Sanford Stadium and just scream and act a fool, Clark. Just get on a natural high, man. Get on a natural high and just be excited to be there, thankful to be there, because you don't have that many opportunities, man. Then why are you there, Clark? Why are you there?
Yeah.
Why are you there? Why are you going to Sanford Stadium and talking about, like, gossiping about, you know, do you know that Tim is dating Ashley now? You know, I mean, you know, and talk about their relationship, or, you know, what your neighbor did yesterday, or you know, what you shot in your round of golf, or the buck that you got on your trail camera and everything. I mean, you know, I understand, like, during TV timeouts, I mean, you got to fill some dead space, right? But Clark, when the game's going on and people are sitting there and they're talking about nothing but the game, it's just a social. Georgia football, Clark. Then I'm going to let you talk on this. I'll tell you what we got with Georgia football. I've seen Georgia football here the past few years with with Georgia people, and I'm just going to say it, it's become an event people want to go to because of the success of what Georgia football is, to get on the TikTok, to get on the Instagram, to get on the Facebook and all these, and the MySpaces, whatever that your social media platform is these days. Snap a picture that you're there and let people know that you're there, right? And that's fine. It's a free country. It's America. God bless America. Thankfully that we live in America where we can do whatever we want to do. I mean, you're free to go to that game and act however you want to, but that's kind of where we're at right there, especially homecoming. The wine and cheese crowd, Clark, that we've talked about since the beginning of this podcast of just wants to go make it a social class, man. It's kind of a higher social class, and we're the common men here at row 60. We go and we act rowdy, and we don't care what people think about us. We have a good time. But some of these people are too good, Clark, I feel like, to get rowdy at a Georgia football game. And
they're above it or something.
And we're both alumni of the University of Georgia and proud of it. And if you, you know, and the people who go to these games and just come to homecoming but don't really want to get rowdy and act, homecoming always has a crowd like this. And it just so happens this year it's Auburn. It's not Vanderbilt like it used to be, or somebody else. Should have been Mississippi State, I feel like, next week. But anyway, I don't know. That and the hurricane that affected, that's the only excuse on why, for people not to, just because of how tiring it's been. Because, man, that hurricane, man, has just been absolutely devastating. Yeah. Just prayers to anybody that's been affected by that, man, because just know that we're behind you. We're praying for you. And just know, man, losing stuff on this earth is tough, what we've seen happen. But there's something better than what we have on this earth coming, man. Yeah. And but anyway, just enough of that right now in the sense. But just know you're in our thoughts and prayers. But that's kind of my theory on why it was like what it was. But it was definitely kind of not up to the standard.
It was awful, terrible actually. I looked around, man. 3rd down, and I mean, Auburn's on offense. They've got the ball. It's 4-point game. It's Auburn. It's not UMass. We're not playing Tennessee Tech here.
Yeah.
And we have butts and seats.
Yeah.
Georgia fans.
Yeah.
And it's not just a few people. It's entire sections of people. And I'm thinking, guys, listen, I'm not asking you to hoot and holler. You don't even have to do that.
You don't have to bust a blood vessel.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do
that work. But at least stand up, show some spirit, and listen, people, I promise you, these players, they notice Okay, when we went to Georgia, Notre Dame, I was on the field, pregame warm-ups, me and Baylor, shout out Baylor. We were talking to some of the players. They looked up in the stands. They saw Georgia people. They saw the energy. They saw it was alive. And they responded to that.
Yeah.
On the field, pregame,
yeah.
they said, this is unbelievable. I mean, you would think they were just so enthralled by the amount of Georgia fans there. So this stuff matters, man. Especially matters in the game when you're playing against Auburn at home. To your point, though, Adam, homecoming always draws a bad crowd. You're going to get people who haven't – they're more or less casual fans. I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of people, man. It's become a entitlement thing as well. People have just gotten comforted and accustomed to just winning and having wins just happen. But wins don't just happen, man. It takes all of us. It takes us fans doing our part, and that's what Kirby called us out on. And I appreciate it. I really do. And I know some people took it the wrong way. And, and certainly I know there were some people in that stadium, not necessarily the majority, but there were some people that have seriously been affected by, the hurricane. And obviously I want to reiterate this because this is a good point.
Yeah.
We are certainly praying for those people. That, crowd noise pales into comparison to, disaster and that sort of thing. But for the people who did show up, it just wasn't a great showing in terms of just the energy level. And I don't know, it's just dead. I didn't really love it.
I'll say this, Clark, and I think it's going to step on some toes of some folks. Not really our listeners, because our listeners are from the same mold that we are, but you probably know people like this. Clark, society has gotten to the point where it is controlled by this right here, the cell phone I'm holding up on YouTube, and social media and entertainment, constant entertainment, and the finer just little things in life, just making your own excitement.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you could go back in a time machine and go back to 1978 Georgia home game and the track people, man. Those rowdy people on the train tracks, and what it meant in the early 80s that Georgia football did to many fan bases, or to many fans. They look forward to Saturday. No, it wasn't their identity and their, what made their life by any means.
Was their purpose.
But they enjoyed it and were thankful for the opportunity every time they got the and people would die to go to a Georgia football game, Clark.
Yeah.
People who are blessed to be able to go to these games, man, are work hard to to be able to attend these games, man. And again, you should be able to have the freedom to do how you want to. But I just feel like college football, the new generation of fans don't get into it like it used to be back in the day, man. And I think it's just because it's just not it. I don't know. What I'm trying to say, Clark, is that I feel like they're not as grateful as it used to be able to go to one of these events and cheer on your home state team or your favorite team, your school or whatever your affiliation is, that you love Georgia like we love Georgia. And when you get to go, and there's such a short amount of opportunities that you get to do it a year, take advantage of it, man. Yeah. Take advantage of it.
I think the rebuttal here is that, hey, I am spending money, and I do get to go to these games, and I do get to choose what happens at these. And I get
and that's
that.
true.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can't say anything.
But here's my point. I don't understand why you would want to go through all the trouble of getting there and paying all this money and getting into the stadium, and if you're just going to sit there and just watch the jumbotron behind somebody who is going to stand up and is going to cheer and who's going to get into the game. It doesn't make sense to me. It's baffling. But what I want us to do is just to step up as fans and just be appreciative for what we have. And that is a really, really good football team in Athens, Georgia right now. We are living in glory days.
That's right.
Let's not take that for granted.
That's right.
Let's make our stadium a living,
That's right.
for other teams. Because when we go on the road, when we go to Kentucky, the hype train's there. Everybody's into it. When we go to Alabama, everybody gets into it. When we go to Texas in 2 weeks, everybody's going to be into that game.
Yeah.
Why can we not generate that at home? I know we can. We're capable of it.
We've done it before.
We need to do it consistently, though, and that's what Kirby was saying, and I'm with him, honestly. I think it's pathetic.
Yeah, I agree, man. It was easy to tell. One last thing, and one of the things about that's so great that is different when you're there in that stadium is the people, especially that we're fortunate enough to sit around. We sit around the same people every time we're in Sanford Stadium. It's our family. It's our family, the Harrells, the Burkhalters, Jack, Richard, Pam, Steve, all these guys and girls that are around and celebrating with them after a big Georgia turnover, a touchdown and stuff. That's what makes it so much fun, man, is your loved ones and your family and friends just being able to forget about just everyday life and the troubles of everyday life for just those 60 minutes that you're watching Georgia play between the hedges and celebrating with the people you love and the friends that you've made, man, and just being able to escape from reality and just getting in the zone of that football game and just letting loose. That's the beauty of it, and that's why we love college football. Yeah. Coming out of that stadium when Vanderbilt beat Alabama, man, and just all these people with phones celebrating, exciting. That's why we love collegiate American tackle football, Clark.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say about this, and we're going to move on because we need to get going.
Good rant, though, Clark.
Good
opening rant. I like it.
One last thing. People are saying, well, Georgia needs to give us something to cheer about. Mike Bobo, Carson Beck, Kirby, they need to give us something to cheer about. Man, that's such a stupid thing to say.
Yeah.
How entitled are you, man?
Yeah.
You cheer for your team because you're a fan of the team. That's what true fans do.
I was getting rowdy back when I was probably the age 17, 18 in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
During the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah.
When we were 6-6 at the time, wound up being 6-7 because we lost to UCF in the Liberty Bowl, but we're still loud because it's Georgia, man. It is Georgia, and again, you just go back that you don't get these opportunities all the time. It is literally in Athens, 5 to 6 out of 365 days, 5 to 6 days a year that you get to do it. And I don't care who the opponent is, you need to, especially when it's Auburn, you need to enjoy that opportunity because you never know when it's your last one, and you need to savor every one of them, man. That's it.
And one last thing, I know we keep talking about this, recruiting too.
That's right,
man. If I'm a recruit and I came to Georgia, that was my one official visit. It was to Georgia, and it was yesterday. I'm not that impressed, man. Yeah. And I'm not saying that has everything to do with it, but it's just these, I don't know. We've got to step it up as a fan base, get loud at these games. At least give me something on third down. Give the players something on second down when, Georgia's on defense and we're pinning our ears back and getting after the quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you what, Clark, we got Mississippi State coming up this week. Big home game, and then you're going to be on the road for a little bit, get a bye, and then on the road, neutral sites and everything. And then after the next time that you're coming back to Sanford Stadium, you got a monstrous game after that with Tennessee looming, man. And we'll be ready to roll then. No doubt this fan base will be ready to roll then. But, not the atmosphere that you usually are expecting for a Georgia-Auburn game.
I have faith.
We will.
We'll rebound, and we'll get back to the standard that we as fans need to be at.
Yeah, and we are a fan podcast.
Yeah.
We are not we've said that from the beginning. We are about the fans and the pulse of the fan base and Kirby Smart called out the fans. So obviously we have to react to that. And I agree with him.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, moving on here. Weekly concession stands report. Here we go. Adam, I got a Grindhouse burger. Grindhouse is one of my favorite restaurants in Athens. I went there as a college kid. When I saw that they had Grindhouse burgers, I lit up with joy.
Yeah, you were jubilant.
I was jubilant.
That's good.
Adam, I'm giving it a 9.1 out of 10.
Really?
The only
stout
It
burger.
was solid, man. It's just like you get in the restaurant itself. It was amazing. I will say the one thing, I docked a few points, not a few points, I mean like a few tenths of points off of this because they need to let people know what's on the burger. Yeah. I got cheese and pickles. It was kind of a pleasant surprise. I was not expecting pickles.
Right.
But no, I really enjoyed it.
So people need to be aware of what toppings are on the burger that they're getting. I mean, I'm an advocate for when you are in like a line like that, a grab and go, if you will, Clark, a grab and go line when you get a burger or a hot dog or something like that, or a barbecue sandwich or whatnot, that you have a condiment table that you give them a plain canvas that is the burger, the hot dog, or anything for the consumer. And then they're able to paint their food with whatever they they choose. As far
I love that.
That's how I feel about it. That's how it should be. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't like pickles, man. I know that's crazy, but I'm not a pickle guy. I've tried it before, but I just don't like the taste of a pickle, man. Okay. Just don't like the taste of a pickle. So I take the pickles, my 2 pickles off my Chick-fil-A sandwich every single time.
Really?
Oh, 100%.
You and Baylor are the only two people I know that does
100%.
Wow.
So I mean, I wouldn't have enjoyed the fact that there was pickles on my hamburger, but I'm thankful to be getting a hamburger. I'm not going to cause a scene about it. I'll take the pickles off, because I know there are a lot of kids out in Ethiopia or somewhere that would really enjoy that pickle. So I'm not going to cause a scene about it.
Why is Ethiopia your go-to third world country? It's not even third world. We got to pick you a different third world country.
It's a great analogy about being thankful
Exactly. I see your point. Adam.
That's what I try to make with that. But yeah, I mean, good, but I'm glad your burger was good.
Well, how about you, Adam? What'd you get?
Yeah, man. Oh, what did I get? I got some. One of the hidden gems, if you will, in Sanford Stadium is the glazed almond and pecan section. So we got some glazed pecans right there. Actually, my wife Kelsey got some. I got a box of peanut M&Ms. I don't know why I got the peanut M&Ms, but I did. But Kelsey, she didn't like her glazed pecans this go around. Really? So we did a trade, Clark.
Oh,
we did
really?
A trade. Yeah,
wow,
we did a trade.
Right.
So I traded her my box of peanut M&Ms for her glazed peanuts, and that was good. In the third quarter, got a frozen lemonade, Clark. This is my only gripe of the day right here.
Okay.
Got a frozen lemonade. Wasn't patient enough to let it kind of soften a little bit until I started digging in. So,
I know where this is going.
You know what happens when you get a frozen object in a plastic spoon. Yeah. You get a little bit just the gravitational pull, the force, whatever type of
torque,
whatever happens is it springboarded my spoon into the next row in front of me. Thankfully, no lemonade splattered on anybody. I don't think it did, but Emma Grace Harrell was actually in front of me when I lost. I don't know if it dropped on her or not. I don't think it did, but it flew like the row in front of me. And so I was like, oh, crap. I got a full frozen lemonade. I don't have a spoon. We're like 3 minutes until it started the second half. I don't need to miss kickoff. So I'm thinking I could just go to a condiment table, where the napkins are, the ketchup and mustard are, and there's going to be some spoons and some plastic, wrappers or whatnot there. No. I went to 3 of them. No utensils. Ooh. No plastic utensils there. So I had to go thank the guy at the Brewster's booth. I came to the side, kind of just came to the side. Hey, I said, hey, brother, you mind if I have one of those red spoons right there? And he obliged to it, He gave me a spoon, and I was grateful for that, and then made it back. So, but my thing is, for people like me who fumble a spoon, let's present some spoons at these tables, these condiment tables where you get your ketchup and straw. They had straws, but no spoons or forks.
Yeah.
Let's get the dispenser, Clark, that you could click the button and it dispenses out a single fork or spoon.
We need that. We'll bring it up with the head guy.
That's
hey, our patrons need to be on the lookout. We may have a very unique interview soon and bonus episode just for you guys.
That's right.
We'll talk about that later. All right, I do want to shout out a few people. One of them is Christian Kaiser.
Yeah.
Me and Christian, we were at school together. He was in my cohort at Georgia. We were both in physical education. That degree is serving me very well right now.
That's good, Clark.
But no, he's teaching and coaching in Putnam County. He ran into me actually as I was eating my Grindhouse burger. So shout out to you, Christian. It's good seeing you. And that's one of the things we love about this, man, is running into people.
Yeah, thank you for educating the future of America, the children of America. Man.
Exactly.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And then we've got some new patrons, 3 new patrons this week. So we are rolling, man. A lot of people hopping on board, joining our community, and we really appreciate you guys. So we're going to start with Brian Vigueres. Brian and his, I believe, girlfriend.
Yeah,
right?
we'll call it that. I think they are. That's what I
don't know if it's Facebook official.
I don't know if it's Facebook official yet or not, but to me, they look like a very just sweet couple.
Yeah. So Brian and Brittany Dix, thank y'all so much for joining. They actually they tapped us on the shoulder at row 60.
Yeah.
And it kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, who in the world's? And then
Brian.
There they are.
Hadn't seen Brian in a long time, man, and it was good to see Brian, and catch up with him, and then meet Brittany. So that was fun. So thank y'all for coming on board.
Yeah,
Appreciate
and then
y'all.
Owen Burt. Owen's Franklin County dog, and he's a heck of a kicker, Adam. Like if Georgia ever needs a guy to just come and walk on the team, Owen's got us. I'm telling you, Owen can hit some field goals. He did it at Franklin County High School.
That's great.
I'd argue one of it, maybe the best kicker we've ever had in Franklin County history. I'm serious.
I love it.
He had a boot. So.
Good deal, Owen. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Man. Thank you for joining the community.
Yeah. So, hey, if you're not on Patreon yet and you want to join, it's $5 a month. Go to patreon.com/row60. We'll invite you into the club. We've got a great Facebook chat going on. It's legendary. You don't know what's going to be said in it. It's just fun, good banter. We do exclusive content just for you guys. We do early release for episodes and whatnot. So if you want to join, once again, patreon.com/row60. All right.
That's right.
Ooh, I about got out of breath there.
That was good, Clark. That was good delivery.
Good delivery. Thank you. Moving on. Clark's Fun Facts.
Hit that jingle, baby.
We, thank God, do not have any Clark's Not So Fun Facts this week. All good stuff.
Thank the Lord.
Auburn has dropped 6 consecutive games against Power 4 opponents. Let's
I
give a
love
clap.
that, man. It couldn't happen to a finer institution. Couldn't
Amen.
happen to a finer head coach, leader of men, Reverend Hugh Freeze, you know.
Leader is a very
That's
loose
what
word.
he says that. Leader of, I mean, just high character guy.
Oh,
the kind
yeah.
of guy that you want your son to go play for, right? Brother Hugh?
If my son, I'm not going to reveal his name on this podcast yet because I do want to kind of keep it under wraps.
Okay, all right.
But if my son grows up to be a Division I athlete and Hugh Freeze is still coaching the Auburn Tigers,
Yep.
and somehow he's a Division I athlete, he will not go to Auburn, even if it's his one lone offer. No,
Yeah, I agree.
not happening. Georgia, 27 straight wins at home. That's the longest in FBS right now. What a record.
Yeah, man.
Sanford Stadium is a tough place to play, especially when we wanted to make it tough.
Yep.
But heck of a win streak right there. Georgia has won the last 8 games against the Auburn Tigers.
Yep.
Give a
God, I
clap
can't
for that.
believe it's been 8 games since that day in Jordan-Hare Stadium in 2017.
Yeah.
That is amazing to me, man. Time flies.
It really
As
does.
Tracy Lawrence says, time marches on.
Yeah. Is that a song?
It is a song.
I need
my
to
man.
hear this song, Adam.
Early 90s country music, baby.
Okay.
Love it. For the record, throwing out there, early 90s country music is making a return by a guy named Zach Top.
Okay.
Check out Zach Top if you haven't already, people. I like him.
Yeah. I'm
Anyway,
not.
sorry.
Interesting.
Just throwing that out there.
This one comes from Rusty Manziel on Twitter. Since a home loss to Georgia Tech in 2016, Georgia is 43-1 at home with an average score of 39-11. Whew, that's unreal.
That is amazing, man. That is, been stout. I mean, outside of that 2019 Carolina day where stuff was just weird that day. And so Georgia has not lost a home game outside of that one in 2019 to South Carolina since the Kirby's first year.
Yep.
The Tech game. Wow, man.
It's insane, isn't it? Wow. Vanderbilt scored 13 points against Alabama during the entire Nick Saban era. 13 points in the entire Nick Saban era. Think about that for a second.
That's unreal, man.
And 13 points in the first quarter against Kalen DeBoer.
I love
Is
it.
that not unreal?
I love it. I love it,
Gosh.
man.
That's crazy, man. I love it too. Clark Lee, God bless you.
Yeah, I
Thank
mean,
you.
Clark Lee, if Kirby can't do it, thank God for Clark Lee. You know what I mean? Thank God for Clark Lee.
And you know, we've made fun of Clark Lee on this show, but he's a lunch pail kind of guy.
He is a lunch pail kind of guy. You know, like you said, he packs him a peanut butter sandwich, a lunch pail, gets, makes a cup of coffee and goes to the office early every day. You know, before the sun rises, he's in the office. First guy at the office, last one to leave.
There
type
you
of guy,
go.
Clark.
Yeah,
last truck or car in the parking lot that you see. The guy turning the lights off in the building, Clark.
Right.
And all seriousness, though, Clark Lee's done a great job. Vandy grad, Vandy guy, Vandy man, bleeds gold and black. Honestly, though, did you hear they were talking about that they had to say how many possessions that they had to limit Alabama to, like broke it down to of what they needed to do to win this football game.
Really?
And I mean, of course, you got to go out and execute. And they did. They actually hit the under. Like they thought we need to limit Alabama to 9 offensive possessions. For
Wow.
example, Alabama had 8. Right.
Wow.
So, I mean, just stuff like that he broke down the seat that give Vanderbilt a chance, man. And I'll be danged if they didn't execute that flawlessly. So,
Yeah, it seemed like they had a really good game plan. It's not like Alabama. All right, we'll get into this in a little bit. But
Okay.
I'm just saying, it didn't really seem like Alabama just, totally had a blow up. It was more like, man, Vanderbilt's kind of dominating them, which is just,
yeah.
it's unreal. This is college football, folks.
That's why we love it, man. Is that last Saturday's game slate was supposed to be a snooze fest, right?
Yeah.
And it turned out to be probably the most exciting week of college football that we've had so far in the 2024 calendar year.
I'd just like to say, if you're not listening to him already, Josh Pate, you need to be listening to him more than us, I think. Just for your general college football. Whoa. Just for your general college football knowledge. Georgia football, you come to us and us only. We'll get it to you.
Josh Pate, he's smart, man, and he's got a lot of good, like you said, good takes, but he only has one voice tone. Like his voice optics don't ever change. You know what I mean?
I
Like
kinda
he
like
doesn't. You like that puts me to sleep, man. Maybe I'm just too like I gotta have somebody change their voice pattern a little bit,
Yeah,
kind of
inflection.
You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Kind of keep people alert in the room. But I feel like if you just stay a monotone tone, you don't grab the listener, right, Clark, when you're giving a presentation. That's public speech 101, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I guess.
Right?
Anyway, Josh Pate, though, he was talking about how, I mean, he said this was not going to be a week where things weren't going to happen. He said there are going to be some upsets. There are going to be some crazy things. So, I mean, he kind of called it.
Yeah.
But
he is
anyway.
good.
All right, let's talk about Georgia's offense and Auburn's defense. Let's start with Carson Beck. Adam, I think Carson actually played a pretty daggone good game, despite what people say out there on the interwebs. I don't get it. Carson had he threw the ball 29 times, completed 23. Not bad. 240 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. He had a quarterback rating of 89.2. That is pretty daggone good.
Yeah, that's real good, man. That's real good. I mean, Carson, he did a lot where one thing I liked about him this week is he did not force the ball into and I feel like into stuff that wasn't there. When he was patient, when receivers weren't creating separation or guys downfield weren't there, he went through his reads and hit his check down guys, man. And, I mean, a lot of times that he dumped the ball to his check down guys, his running backs in the flats or whatever, and picked up a lot of yards after catch. Those guys did that moved the chains. And, that might not be the flashiest thing that you want to see moving the football without these just downfield 45-yard bombs, but it's moving the sticks, Clark. And you're just taking what the defense gives you. And, I'm excited to see just Carson, what he does this upcoming week and what he does on the road in Austin here in a couple of weeks too, man.
Yeah.
So.
I'm starting to really like how we're getting our playmakers the ball more. I thought we saw a lot more of Dylan Bell, saw a lot more of Colby Young getting the ball. I believe, Colby Young, he was our leading receiver with 3 receptions, 51 yards. We're starting to create a little bit more opportunities for those guys, and I think that's a good thing. Adam, Trevor Etienne, that's the guy that you're still high on, and I am too. And I think most people who know their ball, man, you can't help but love this guy. He's got a great heart, a good motor.
Big heart. Good motor.
Good motor.
I love a guy with a big heart, Clark.
Yeah.
Love a guy with a big heart. That's who you want to see with a G on the side of their helmet. Transfer from Florida. He's thankful, Clark, for the opportunity to be a Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah.
He went through the wilderness with being a Florida Gator, and he knows what he's got in Athens after he got out of the wilderness, out of the darkness into the light, and he came here, man. He's just grateful for his opportunity, and that's a guy who honestly is thankful that he gets to wear the G on his helmet and the silver breeches every single Saturday, and he competes, man, and he runs the ball hard every time he gets the rock. Clark, even if there is nothing there, he makes something out of nothing, and always just effort's always there. I feel like he's the guy that's consistently this year, since really we started thinking about, and he missed the Clemson game, made a mistake, but he has made up for that completely, man. And since the Kentucky game, a guy who is just every time that he's had an opportunity to get the football, he's gave 110%. And as a fan, just watching from the stands, it's hard. It's not hard to see that he's the guy out there. Probably, I feel like on offense who is playing with the most urgency, Clark, consistently, every game
For sure. He makes such great cuts, and like you said, there's a lot of times where it's not there. A hole collapses. He's got to find some yardage. Yesterday or this past Saturday, 16 carries, 88 yards. That's a season high. 2 touchdowns. So I think that was a very respectable stat line right there. Give Trevor a hand. Listen to this stat. Trevor Etienne had 2 touchdown rushes and 6 receptions. He was the first Bulldog to have those numbers in a single game since Robert Edwards in 1996.
Really? I'll be nice.
The 6 receptions were a career best for Etienne. I think that stat right there is courtesy of Roddy Nabulsi.
Oh, well, yeah. That's good then, man. Well, that's nice to hear. A lot of that was the check downs for Carson Beck getting the ball, checking down to Etienne, which is good, man. I mean, when you have a guy like Etienne who's got the ball in space right there, good things happen. I mean, you take that every time that, if the defense gives it to you, you're going to get positive yardage, and that's what they did Saturday. And, hey, you can't hate on that at all. Yeah. I feel like anyway.
Yeah. One thing, though, that just has not been up to standard, I think all season, is just our blocking. Just blocking in general. So
specifically run blocking.
Specifically run blocking. I think pass pro, even, I don't know, though. This past weekend was a little shaky at times, too.
Yeah.
And I know we don't have Tate Ratledge right now. You don't have Jared Wilson. Although I will say Drew Bobo didn't play that bad at center. I thought he actually did pretty well for the Cards he was dealt.
Yeah, Clark, 100%. And going into fall camp, you heard, or during fall camp, rather, going into the Clemson game, you heard that if Jarrett Wilson went down, Tate Ratledge would move over to the center position.
Mm-hmm.
So by default, even though Tate Ratledge was a starting offensive lineman at the guard position, that if Wilson went down, their option was Ratledge was going to be shift over to the center, Michael Morris plugged in at guard in his spot then, and they carry on. Well, as just happens in college football, man, the old injury bug bites you, then you lose Ratledge and you lose Wilson, and then Bobo's the next man up in that scenario, kind of the third option. I thought Clark, he did well. I really did. Now, you hit that spot on. I was kind of a little bit nervous at the beginning of the game. It looked like he was snapping the ball a little bit high. The Carson, I was like, let's not overshoot him right there. But that changed right after, and that's one thing too, man, is when a quarterback's working with one specific center, kind of the connection that you got to have in the chemistry, it takes a little bit to kind of get in sync a little bit with that. And I thought Bobo did a good job.
Yeah. I think Jared Wilson is supposed to be back pretty soon.
Yeah.
They wanted to give him some rest. And honestly, that's really good reps for Drew Bobo there at that center position.
They sit him till Austin.
Yeah, maybe so.
Let Bobo get some more reps and some experience against the Bulldogs of Mississippi State.
I agree. We moved Xavier Truss a little bit around. I'm not going to sit here and call him out, but I do think he didn't have his best day. I think he would probably tell you that as well.
Mm-hmm.
They switched him to guard. I think he played a little bit better there, but there were some times though, Adam, you got to call it like you see it. We got whipped up front yesterday, especially in the run game. It wasn't the prettiest. We're still also just not blocking super great on the perimeter. I will say one guy who's been catching a lot of flack recently, Ursek, he actually blocked pretty well yesterday.
Good.
But blocking in general this year just has not been to the standard, and this is where the Mike Bobo stuff comes into play, because I'll be honest with you,
the run gap schemes,
yes, and yes, it ultimately starts with the coaches, right? It starts above them. Kirby Smart, down to the coordinators, down to the position coaches, to the players, right?
Yeah.
If we're not blocking, well, we need to figure out how to coach these guys to block, right? But there were several times yesterday, it was a 3-man rush. And somehow it's 3 versus 5, and yet we were still getting pressured. Carson, he's still a little shaky. I don't know if he's playing with as much confidence as he had last year, and it might be because, well, he's getting pressured a little too much. And, there's some stuff that is open. I don't know if you can always see it on the TV copy.
Yeah.
But you give them a little bit more time. You get the receivers a little bit more time in these man-on-man positions, you're going to win a lot of those battles. You're going to see us push the ball downfield more, but it starts up front in the trenches. And when that's not going as well as you want to, that's when you're going to start seeing Carson Beck not being able to get the ball to his receivers as well. That's when people are going to complain about your receivers. That's when people are going to say, oh, Mike Bobo, what's he doing? Yada, yada, yada. First of all, once again, I think I've already said this.
Yeah.
The Mike Bobo stuff, it's just a lazy take at this point. It's stale and lazy. And I think it goes to show who doesn't know ball.
I agree with that, Clark. And I know I don't think the play calling should be criticized with Bobo. But when you look at execution, ultimately, yes, it starts at the top with Bobo and comes down the position coaches. But the players got to go out and execute. And a lot of times, too, people have to realize some of the plays that you're thinking, what in the world are we doing? The freedom that the quarterback has to make adjustments and audibles at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
What we don't, as the average fan, know what if Carson's checking in or checking out of a certain play that's there, not there. Checking into a run that's just you're running straight into the teeth of the defensive front. We don't know that type of thing, Clark. But after watching some film from the Alabama game, that a former coach came out and did. You see that the guys are there, the play call's there, but when you're not executing them, ultimately that's on the coaching staff too.
Sure.
And I agree with you though, Clark. What the beauty of I feel like the offense is, Clark. No, it's not up to the standard we want. Everybody's 2022 offense. What made that so special was Monken had the ability to scheme receivers open, but when we were so good on the ground, Clark, was because Bobo was an analyst on that team and his run gap schemes there. So you had those two complementing each other. So I feel like what we're seeing now is stuff that's like this is what it is. No, I feel like it's stuff that is correctable. And when this offense peaks, with this offensive line gels, and I mean, I remember going through multiple years, and I've said this on the podcast before, that we have the whole month of September is like, is the offensive line really living up to the hype?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when's the last time we've seen an offensive line just from the beginning, just boom, gel? Just
been a while.
You know, so I mean, I feel like it's stuff, man, that can be corrected, and you know, just one game, the lights just come on.
Yeah.
And thank God it's a 4-quarter football game, Clark, because you know, obviously the first half everybody, the big thing is what we've got to be better, put more points on the board in the first half. Well, you know, yes, we do. I mean, we can't have 28. We can't be down 28-0 in Austin, Texas. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Everybody's got to do their job. But man, I feel confident about it, and there's definitely stuff that's got to improve. But in the same sense, man, there's a lot of good things that are going on when you look at the stats, when you go back and you watch plays, that this offense has a chance as the season progresses to be a very, very good unit.
For sure. That's really all the notes I had here on the offense. Not a bad showing. You know, 31 points, respectable. Auburn's defense, I got to be honest, I mean, they're not as bad. That's still not as bad as a team as people are making them out to be. You know, they're some turnovers away from being 5-1 right now, I think.
Yeah.
Still not, I mean, not great, not elite by any means, but respectable. And so, you know, putting up 31 points against an SEC team, I'll take it. 18-point victory. Give me that every day of the week, you know. I don't care who it's against.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Georgia's defense versus Auburn's offense. Adam, I'm going to start with this. Dan Jackson, man, is a football player. And I would argue, and we've said this, we were talking about this in the stadium, I think he's the player of the year on defense.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
No, I don't think you are. I really think right now he is playing. I think him and Jalen Walker are two guys on defense, like we talked about Trevor Etienne on the opposite side of the football. I think you point to number 17, number 11 on the defense side of the football, the guys who are playing with the most sense of urgency the past 3 games, and guys out there that are really, you know, the effort just seems like it's above the rest of them with those 2 guys. Dan Jackson being the one of them, I feel like. And, I mean, he's there. He's not afraid as a safety to come up and stick his head into a tackle, man. Come up when there was one that he just came in like just a bullet shot out of a gun. Took a bad angle right there, but, I mean, he was ready to come in and be a headhunter right there. But in position, man, rarely do you ever see when he's playing that center field position anybody get past him in the third level.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just a guy out there that, as a veteran guy, and really making the most of his senior season. Coming back, man. I mean, I'm proud of him, man. Fought through some injury stuff and been a special teams contributor on the national championship teams, the first one, man. And, you know, I mean, he has carved out an excellent career here at the University of Georgia. He should be dang proud of.
He sure has, yeah. Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, Adam, is a guy also who's starting to emerge. Yesterday he had 2 sacks, and I don't know. I think he's really starting to turn it on.
Yeah. I like
Christian Miller.
He got hurt.
Did he?
He got a
leave
knee
the
injury.
game?
He had a knee injury, left the game. From what I've heard from a reliable source, is that he is. It looks better. I mean, good news on that.
Yeah.
Good news on that.
Okay,
I don't
good.
know an official diagnosis, but I think there is reason to be optimistic on that injury not being just horrific.
Sure. Michael, I think, got some snaps. Didn't see him a ton, and then I want to say they kind of pulled him. And
Yeah, still not 100%.
Still not 100%. And, we need him. I think we rest him, especially for Austin. But give him some more time to recover and regroup.
And when people talk about a high ankle sprain, they could be like, well, you know, I was out walking to the mailbox the other day, stepped off the concrete on the sidewalk, and I sprained my ankle, but I was over it in a couple of days. A sprained ankle of when you're walking to the mailbox and then you're having to carry on with your daily life, going to the office, the grocery store, what have you not. It's different than dealing with a sprained ankle when you are pushing around in the trenches with a 275, 300-pound offensive lineman, Clark.
Yeah.
It's a whole different animal. Just wanted to just throw that out there.
Yeah. Have you been hearing people say stuff like that?
No, not really. Just wanted to
in case there was
just in case,
anybody out
because
there.
everybody's like, man, I mean, he had a high ankle sprain, or I don't know if it was a high ankle or a low ankle or a middle grade ankle sprain. I'm not really sure what part of the ankle was sprained.
Yeah.
But the ankle was sprained, Clark. Right.
Okay.
So I just wanted people to kind of we just need to put it in perspective that when me and you have a sprained ankle,
It's a little bit different.
Walking to the mailbox, or whatnot, going to the bathroom at the middle of the night in the dark.
Yeah.
Then it's different, right?
Right,
It's different.
right.
The recovery
Okay.
process is different.
I'm sure,
We
yeah.
just need to make that clear.
Okay. We put ours in bubble wrap. Right.
That's right.
Adam, one thing that I'm starting to notice, and I'm not liking at all.
Okay. What's
Well,
that?
two things really.
All right.
And I think one is kind of an obvious one. Tackling. Everybody's been talking about our tackling. And it's not up to the standard. It's not what we've kind of grown accustomed to at Georgia. I don't know. I mean, it kind of sucks, honestly, if I'm being blunt. And another thing I'm really not liking, we're just not getting off blocks. We're not getting off blocks, man. When teams get on the perimeter and on the edge, man, we just can't get off a freaking block sometimes.
No.
And it's demoralizing.
And I felt like, Clark, we did a better job of bouncing the ball carrier more outside when they were running off tackle in the sense, but we weren't able to get off the block. We were getting, we were taking the blocks, shedding them, and bouncing the ball carrier out the perimeter more than we did in Tuscaloosa last week when they really just came off tackle and then cut it north, but we weren't able to get off the blocks. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We were running with them. We just weren't getting off the blocks.
We were making it bounce out the outside more. We just weren't able to get off the blocks when we needed to, I feel like. And really like make it a tackle for loss. And when it's a 4 or 5 yard game, when you really should have been able to get them behind the line of scrimmage.
Exactly. And I'll tell you one play that really showcases that. Go watch the Jarquez Hunter touchdown run. Just go back and watch it. Just that one play. Go find it. Jarquez Hunter, number 27 Auburn. I think it might have been in the third quarter or something. He scored a touchdown, but man, there are so many loafs on that play, man. And that's something I haven't seen in a while. Watch the backside guys coming to the football. It's almost like they just assumed Jonell Aguero was going to make a tackle. Jonell Aguero doesn't make a tackle. And guess what? We all are taking bad angles. We're kind of loafing on the play.
Tackling high, too, man.
Tackling high, man. Running high. Blocking high.
Blocking high.
It's stuff that, man, I really didn't think would ever happen under Kirby Smart.
Yep.
But, I think it's stuff that can be fixed. I'm not totally panicking here. Because if I can see it, I know for sure that's something that's been addressed long before now in the team facility. But it is a little concerning.
Yeah, and people saying, well, we miss Will Muschamp. Will Muschamp is still working with his team during the week. Yeah. So, I mean, he's addressed. I mean, no, he's not on. I think we do miss him because, he's one of the best defensive coordinator as far as just the experience that he has. He's hard to replace from what his role was at Georgia during this championship run since he came on in 2021. But you understand why he's not there. But he's still affiliated with the program, not on game days, but during the week. I feel like I know he was at the practice preseason I was at, and I think the one you were at too, wasn't he? So he's still. So people who are saying, "Oh, we need to bring back Muschamp," that's why he's at practice during the week.
He's helping game plan people.
Yeah. So let's just think about that. But anyway, I don't know. These guys right here, definitely the third level tackling, man. When I think Clark too, and you've mentioned this before, and I'm still high. I'm not meaning this as a slight because I think the man has a lot of potential at the star position. I've talked him up highly, but I don't think we appreciated in 2022 Javon Bullard at the star, how good he was.
Yep.
And then in 2023, we needed to move him to the safety position. And Tyke Smith came in and ended his career in a great way, man, after, battling through some injuries earlier in his career. And the star position, Clark, is a position where you have the opportunity to make a lot of plays and tackles on the perimeter, shedding blocks, making plays. And we saw that in 22 and 23 with Bullard, with Tyke Smith really last year coming up big. And, that's somewhere that Aguero has a lot of opportunity at the star position. And it's something that, man, that if he's not playing up to the standard, you have 5-star talent littered in the DB room, even though he looks like if you wanted to build a star position player, he passes the eye test completely. And I still think he'll be good. This is I'm definitely not running him down, but
he's still green,
he's still green and
and
it might be that he's better safety. You know, you don't know, but I mean, I think you're going to see Javarius Robinson and these DB guys really, maybe have to shift some guys around, Clark, and find the right match. But we'll see, or maybe the lights come on with it. But definitely right now, the secondary play overall, besides Dan Jackson, I feel like is not what you expect the high standard of a Kirby Smart defensive back room to be.
Yeah. One more note. Let's see. Auburn did play pretty clean, like 0 turnovers. Wow.
Yes, I'm sorry. I got one more note. Damon Wilson. I thought he looked fast coming off the edge, man. I really like him. I think he's going to be a guy number 10 to look out for as the season progresses. He gets more snaps. He's going to be a playmaker.
Last thing. All right, well, first of all, 5 tackles for loss. That's a good note. 3 sacks, one by Chaz Chambliss, guy who's taken a lot of flack from a lot of people, but I think he is still playing well. There is a reason he is playing on Saturdays. If Kirby Smart, who knows infinitely more football than you, me, Adam, and probably everybody in the stands in Sanford Stadium on game day combined, if Kirby thinks he's good enough to play, good for me. I trust him. So, Chaz, good for you, man. Good sack there. I think he's at 3.5 sacks in his career. But, hey, good on him. And, last note, offense and defense, I think if you were to go in the team meeting room on Wednesday or something and ask these guys, hey, have you guys felt like you've played to your standard? Both units, offense, defense. They tell you no.
Yeah.
Not a single game yet. Not for four full quarters. No, 100%. And they know this, and that's why they go to practice.
Yeah.
That's why they're watching game film. That's why they're game planning. That's why they spend hours upon hours upon hours working on football, man, for us to enjoy. So just pump the brakes on these kids. They're going to figure it out. I still have faith in them. And, hey, we just won a game by 18 points. What more can we ask for?
Against a historic rival.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't beat that. And, Clark, what people have got to realize now, the new mindset of college football, we've talked about this, man, with the new playoff format, with an extended schedule, it's almost, I hate to say this, you still want to win every regular season game, obviously, but it's going to be harder and harder with a more difficult schedule. It's almost got to the NFL. A lot of these Super Bowl teams that won Super Bowls in the NFL were wild card teams that got hot later in the season. Yeah. The lights came on, everything clicked at the right time. The injury bug and everything got lucky, and everybody healed at the right time during the back part of the season, second half of the season, and they made a run, Clark. And I mean, as college football fans, we're going to have to kind of shift how we view stuff in the sense, don't get me wrong, you still want to win every single game, obviously, but just remember, folks, that you don't want to peak too early. I mean, obviously you would like to peak the whole year, but it's setting up, hopefully, Clark, where you see this Georgia team play to their standard on both sides of the ball, their best potential, where this talent is at the right part of the season. And I think it's setting up that way that we're gearing up that they very well may do that.
For sure, yeah.
And it's going to be a fun second half of the year.
Love it. All right, last unit here, Georgia special teams. 2 notes. Kicking game is elite. Absolutely nothing more to say than that. I mean, they just don't miss, man. And we greatly appreciate Thorson and Woodring just doing their thing, man.
Yeah.
Elite.
Yeah, they do.
And then I want to shout out another guy, Dan Jackson, again, with the blocked field goal, man.
Awesome.
Just effort. I mean, just effort.
Yeah.
You know? I really, really, really love Dan Jackson and what he means. And his fire.
Was he? I know he recovered it, but did he block the punt against Arkansas in 21?
Yes,
he did, and recovered it. Yeah, I mean, it's a great special teams guy. Great football player.
Good football player. Dirty Dan. All right, Georgia versus Mississippi State. Moving on here. Another one in Sanford Stadium, Adam. Can't beat it, can you?
Oh, can't beat it. Can't beat it. I'm excited about it, Clark. We're going to set us up a nice tailgate, watch a good 12 o'clock game, man. Enjoy a October football game. Hopefully there's going to be a little breeze there. The temps look like they're going to be a little bit cooler this week. So, hoping for that. And just enjoy it. Yeah. Just enjoy it.
I saw 74 degrees this Saturday, so a little bit cooler, man.
There we go.
I hope so.
There we go.
4:15 kickoff. This might be the very first 4:15 p.m. kickoff in Sanford Stadium history. Very odd
time slot.
Yep. Last time Mississippi State was in Athens, Georgia, was COVID year. 2020, the Dogs were favored at them by 25 points. And Mississippi State actually led in that game. I don't know if you remember, 17-10.
It was a blackout.
In the second quarter, you're right. The last blackout week. No, well, I guess
the Peach Bowl was. But, wore black jerseys. God, such a weird year.
I know.
Such a weird year. Weird night. Very cold that night. JT Daniels slung the ball around. JT Daniels was our guy. The JT Daniels, Jermaine Burton hype train was in full steam. We were pouring the coal on the JT Daniels train in the furnace, going down the track. I mean, wow, you look at where we've been. That seems like yesterday. When I was sitting in there, by fours in the stadium, and then you would have fours, and then you would have a bunch of empty seats around you. You would wear your mask. I would rebel against wearing my mask, and but golly, that is the last time. That's right, man.
Last time we played them was in Starkville, and we put it on them. It's a little scary there the first half, and I really just hope we don't have a scary first half against Mississippi State again, because the past 2 times it has been that way.
Georgia played them in 22, didn't we? Start.
Yeah, 22. Georgia owns this series record 20-6. Awesome. Mississippi State has lost the past 4. Mississippi State has only beaten Georgia 2 times. Last time was in 1956. Actually, sorry. Mississippi State has only beaten Georgia 2 times in Athens.
I was about to say, they beat us in Starkville in 2010.
2010, yep. Last time.
Vividly remember that.
Yeah. Last time in Sanford was 1956. So a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Georgia used to play Mississippi State, or was it Ole Miss? In Jackson, Mississippi.
I think it is.
No, it was Jackson.
State.
I think it was, Herschel. No. Yeah, they did.
This year they've played, well, first of all, they're 1-4. They are, God bless them, they're just atrocious this year.
Oh, yeah. I see it.
They have 1 win against Eastern Kentucky, 56-7. Just really put it on the. Who was their mascot? Eastern Kentucky. Are they the Eagles or something?
I think they actually are.
Green, Green. No, that's
Eastern Michigan.
Oh yeah,
in the MAC. I don't know Eastern Kentucky's mascot.
Anyway,
I don't.
They had a big win to open up the season with them, and then it's just been all downhill from there. 4 straight losses to Arizona State. They got boat raced by Toledo, 41-17.
Oh,
Florida beat them.
Oh,
Texas beat them.
Oh,
so man, just tough. Rebuilding year for Jeff Lebby. Adam, talk to us about Jeff Lebby. This is his first year as a Mississippi State.
Let's talk about Jeff Lebby. Jeff Lebby is a guy who is from the Mike Leach tree of the air raid system, Clark. Art Brow's son-in-law.
Okay.
Art Brow's not a good reputation, great football coach, but not a good person for what happened at Baylor. I'm not going to expand on that because young children might be listening, and we don't need to introduce topics that we have to have, parents have to have conversations with about. But everybody knows what the Art Brow's Baylor scandal was. If not, look it up. But that is Jeff Lebby is Art Brow's son-in-law, actually, Clark, and they're all in that Dana Holgerson, Art Brow's, Cliff Kingsbury, Mike Leach, Lincoln Riley, air raid tree, so to speak. Jeff Lebby was Lane Kiffin's offensive coordinator at Ole Miss his first couple of years there, maybe. Then went to Oklahoma with Brent Venables when he was hired, and then
UCF.
He was at UCF at some time too, wasn't he? Yeah, and then but last stop was Oklahoma with Brent Venables until he was hired with because Dylan Gabriel. He was Dylan Gabriel's offensive coordinator with Heupel, right?
I think so, yeah.
At UCF, and then Gabriel went to Oklahoma with him. They had some good offenses there, and his first year in Norman, I know. But anyway, so Mississippi State, I don't know, very interesting hire. I don't know. Maybe that's what Mississippi State thought, that love what they had in Leach. Sad deal there. I still think that's setting them back some. Tragic situation, but wanted to go with another kind of Mike Leach type guy, the offensive guy after a rough year with Zach Arnett, a defensive-minded head coach. And just not very historic program, Mississippi State. Lebby, I don't know. Jury's still out on him, what he'll do. They'll definitely have to give him time, but not looking good so far.
Yeah.
And, but I think it's more I have not watched Mississippi State this year, but historically Jeff Lebby is in the air raid tree.
Gotcha. Well, I'll give you some stats here. I think these numbers are very telling where Mississippi State is at right now. They rank 58th in passing offense. Not awful, 243 yards per game. They rank 91st in FBS in rushing offense with 136 yards per game. They are 83rd in passing yards allowed, so 225 yards per game. So what that's telling me is Carson might have a bigger game this upcoming week.
Yeah.
Mississippi State ranks 120th in run defense, allowing 213 yards per game. So what that is telling me, once again, not only is Carson going to have a big game, our backs should feast too. Our offensive line should lean into this defensive line and run the ball and throw the ball and have some fun this week.
It's just what the doctor ordered, Clark, for a game before you go to Austin, Texas for a very big matchup in Sanford Stadium. You know, obviously you respect it. It's an SEC opponent, but as fans, we kind of look ahead that you're hopefully thinking this is a game where the offense can get going early, guys build some confidence, and then hopefully, Clark, not have any injuries, and hopefully maybe part of the second half you kind of get your starters out and get some experience for some young guys and kind of go ahead and get an early rest going into Austin, Texas the following week.
For sure.
Sets up that way.
Mississippi State, they have given up 19 sacks already this season. 19, and you know, maybe that's kind of the style of offense. That's kind of the risk you run there. They rank 130th in the nation. I believe there are only 133 teams in FBS, and they're pretty much dead last in that category. They give up a whopping 31.6 points per game on average. That also ranks 109th. So just not a great start this year for Mississippi State. Their starting quarterback, Blake Shapen, he was a senior, or he is a senior rather, from Baylor, transferred from Baylor, had a season-ending injury against Florida. So now they're starting a freshman quarterback. His name is Michael Van Buren, number 0. Pretty athletic kid. I mean, I think he's a 4-star recruit maybe, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, you know, he's not playing terrible. He's just young and inexperienced so far. But, you know, these are the kind of games, though, that you pin your ears back and you go after the quarterback.
And keep in mind, everybody who has casually kept up with Mississippi State football, Clark, you just talked about the quarterback position. You know, for the past few years, it seems like the past decade, they had Will Rogers under center, who set a lot of records at Mississippi State. He transferred to Washington. He is now with the Washington Huskies, their quarterback this year. So Lebby not able to keep Will Rogers, you know, maybe when he thought maybe he could. I'm not sure how that played out, and it's kind of left it, I guess, QB room in a little bit of turmoil right there.
Yeah. The only other note I have right here, they just have a trio of running backs that they rotate in and out. I mean, really good analysis here.
Yeah.
I did horrible on my study on them.
I mean, Coleman Holzer is their defense coordinator.
Okay.
Was on Saban's staff at Alabama for a time. Was a co-DC at Texas. Really not sure what his defensive philosophy is, Clark.
It looked like they were running a 4-man front, maybe. I might be dead wrong.
You think
about
it's
that.
a 4-3?
It could very well be a 4-3 for all we know.
Yeah. But you think if he was under Saban, he might have been a 3-4.
3-4. Ooh, yeah. I don't know.
Under Saban and Kevin Steele, you know. So I don't know. Young guy, man. I don't know. I feel like Mississippi State's the worst team in the Southeastern Conference, ranked 16 out of 16.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But if you're Georgia, let's talk about Georgia in this game specifically. What do you want to see out of Georgia before this Texas game? What do you want to see them do inside Sanford Stadium this Saturday against Mississippi State?
Clark, my thing is I really don't care about the scoreboard in the sense of just win. I want it to be more about limit mistakes, tackle well. Yeah. Tackle well, not commit dumb penalties, force some turnovers. I'd like to see the defense get a takeaway or two, man. Play a clean game offensively, maybe come out, score some light up the scoreboard a little bit in the first quarter as far as just good sustained drives, distribute the ball to different guys, build some confidence, man, get Carson's confidence up, and just no injuries. You just don't this is especially on the defensive front, I don't want to see any more guys go down. But what I would like, it just sets up perfectly for a lot of just confidence building going into Texas and the big stretch of the schedule where 3 of your next 4 opponents, you're after Mississippi State, you get Texas bye week, Florida and Jacksonville, which no matter how bad Florida is always a game that takes a toll on you just from an emotional standpoint, that neutral site. Then you're going to Oxford, Mississippi. Then you got Tennessee coming in. So really the defining slate of the schedule is coming up after this game when you're going to be on the road for a long time. And it would just be nice to get a big home win and just clean up some things and just build some confidence going into Austin.
Yeah, I think you said it right there, talking about the little things. Let's just do the little things right this weekend. Let's block well. Let's tackle well. Let's do the little things right. And those a lot of times add up and be big things. So
that's right.
I want to see a big day from Carson. I want to see some confidence. I want to see him ripping and slinging the ball. I don't think you need to put a lot on film necessarily, but, win the game. Doesn't have to be a very stylish kind of win. Just win the football game and stay healthy.
It doesn't have to be 52-0. I mean, heck, I'd take a 31-13 again. That's fine as long as, like you said, Clark, you're doing the little things right and you're playing good complimentary football.
Yeah. That's it. Complimentary football. We need one game of just pure complimentary football. Man, that would I think that would ease everybody. That would put everybody at ease, you know?
It would, man. It would. It's crazy we're getting worked up like this.
I know.
I mean, God, it just shows the entitlement and spoiled fan base that we are, that we are in a great position for all of our goals in front of us, including the SEC championship berth, Clark. And that it's exciting. It's exciting. The unknown of knowing what is this Georgia team going to turn into? What is these next 4 or 5 games going to look like? That's why we love it. That's why we do this podcast. And talking about it is just so much. It's fun.
It's fun. Sure is. All right, so that's enough about Mississippi State. I do think, you can't go sleepwalking.
Yeah.
You never can go sleepwalking, especially in the SEC, and I don't care if they're the worst ranked team.
True,
you got to respect your opponent. And I know that's going to be the message this week in Buttsmere with Kirby and the team. So,
should be a fun day, great weather. Come on out to Sanford Stadium, get rowdy and get loud and enjoy this. Last time you'll get to see them in Sanford until mid-November.
Jeez, that is right. Golly. Yeah, there's a stretch where we're not going to be home for a while. All right, week 5 games. We had some fun ones. This one, not so much. Missouri at Texas A&M. 41-10 beatdown. A&M over the Tigers.
I bet Elijah Drinkwitz was chomping on some chewing gum during this game.
Just stressing.
Yes, just wandering the sidelines out there in College Station, Texas, man. Good on Mike Elko. You know, I mean, this is a Texas A&M and now a Missouri team that both have one loss. Texas A&M's loss is out of conference right now. So keep an eye on A&M and their schedule, Clark. And, and kind of, Mike Elko, it just seems like they're getting better each game. Connor Wigman played with a lot of confidence, it seemed like, Saturday, man. So A&M's got, I think, a pretty, not just a brutal schedule that, when you start looking at that SEC title picture here in a few more weeks and really getting serious about it, you might see A&M, one of those teams like, hey, they're in the middle of the fold and still got a shot. So keep an eye on that.
It's crazy. Yeah, they do still have a shot. Ole Miss at South Carolina, 27-3. The Rebels did what I think most of us thought they would do, and that is rebound against Shane Beamer.
Yeah.
Was Shane crying?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I honestly thought Carolina would maybe get a little bit juiced in Columbia. Missed a chance to upset LSU earlier in the year and would have it. I obviously didn't watch this because this was going on simultaneously as the Georgia game as well. But I thought that there would be a little bit better of a fight from South Carolina, especially more points scored.
Yeah,
I mean, shoot, man. I mean, I don't know. I guess good on Lane Kiffin rebounding, going on the road, and a tough environment to play in and winning by 24 points.
Good on Lane Kiffin. Yes, whatever. Clemson at Florida State, 29-13. The Tigers pretty much did what they had to do. Wasn't really a pretty win, I don't think, necessarily. I didn't get to watch this one hard at all.
We didn't either, Clark. Clemson, man, offensively, with Matt Luke at the helm of the offensive line position and Garrett Riley in his second year, we talked about Clemson obviously opened up with them since we dismantled them in Atlanta Labor Day weekend. Offense seems to be clicking, and they're moved into the top 10 now. So all's back good in Tigerland until they play Georgia again. I hope we get the shot at it.
That would be
sweet. To beat them in the playoffs.
And then Bama, too. Gosh,
how great would it be if they ran the table and we played them in the playoffs and eliminated them? They had a 2-loss season, both of them to Georgia.
That would be amazing. In the Peach Bowl.
In the Peach Bowl again. Golly. I mean, that's the thing. You just don't know what's going to happen this year. And I'm so giddy about it. I'm so just jubilant about what these next few months of college football is going to hold.
It's going to be great. This is why... And to that point,
this week was a great indicator of it.
Yes, and this game was too. Tennessee at Arkansas, 19-14. Arkansas, Sam Pittman. We sat here a couple months ago and said, Sam Pittman may not have a job by the end of the season. Sam Pittman just extended his contract.
Yeah, man, I hate it. I wish they could have pulled it off in Arlington against A&M. But, hey, no, but still, this is great. Arkansas fans got to be feeling good. They were celebrating in Fayetteville, man. Love seeing. Heupel was tore up. He was tore up.
Yeah.
Did you see that? I mean, I love it. I love it. Tennessee fans definitely did not see this coming off a bye week, going to Fayetteville, losing at night. But, one Saturday, they were top of the mountaintop. Georgia got beat. They had the big concert in Neyland to celebrate, and everybody, the big win at Oklahoma. I mean, they were so fired up about their football program and just really didn't think there's no way that Sam Pittman, the Arkansas Razorbacks, was going to beat them coming off a bye. But it happened, man. Humility is a week away, and the SEC, as Kirby Smart says. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this Tennessee team goes from here. I still think they'll be in the hunt when they come to Athens for a heck of a showdown.
Yep. Michigan at Washington, the most anticlimactic game in the history of college football, I would say. I mean,
national championship.
You're getting a national championship rematch season after, and I didn't watch it at all.
No,
Did you?
No, it didn't. I mean, you don't even. I mean, the faces on both of those sidelines are completely different. Never seen just so much. Change in two programs coming off of a national championship, and I mean the programs are just both, I think, just going downhill. After historic seasons by both, and actually surprised Washington won it.
Washington.
Get on Jed Fish.
Mm-hmm. Washington won it 27-17.
Get on Jed Fish.
Michigan was ranked. I think they still are, but not as high. And who cares, honestly?
Yeah, I don't.
What a boring game.
I don't.
You said it was going to be a pillow fight last week, and I'm sure it kind of probably was.
Well, it was a pillow fight.
The ratings could not have been any lower, I'm sure.
That's right.
This game was awesome. Miami at California. Miami wins in a thriller of a comeback, 39-38. If you didn't watch this game, I mean, the ending was at like 2 a.m. Eastern time. You need to go back and watch some highlights, man. This was a fun game. In Miami, man, they just keep finding ways to win, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Mario Cristobal taking his team a couple thousand miles across the country to play in California, Berkeley. the people, the students left the library in Cal Berkeley, didn't go to bed early, didn't go protest anything that day to show up and focus on football for a day in Berkeley. And heck, they had it won, Clark. Justin Wilcox and his Golden Bears had it won.
It was 38-10 at one point, right?
I mean, it was going to be a heck of a day in Berkeley, California. And, they just they lost. Cam Ward coming back. I mean, it's hard to come back on the road in Berkeley, California. Just Golden Bears, right?
Electrifying
environment. Heisman moment for Cam Ward, right, Clark?
I guess. I mean, honestly, though, you have to start.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be in the conversation, and we'll see what Miami does. It looks like Clemson and Miami from now, but, I mean, heck, who knows this week? I mean, you really don't know, but just from the ACC standpoint, it looks like Miami and Clemson, I don't think they meet up in the regular season, but are on a path to meet in Charlotte for the ACC championship, and
who knows?
That'll be fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. This one was super fun to watch. The elephant in the room, pun intended. Alabama at Vanderbilt. Can you believe this, folks? I'm going to pinch you, Adam.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Did that wake you up a little bit?
It got me fired up, man.
Alabama wins. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Vanderbilt wins. What am I talking
That's
about?
Exactly right. Vanderbilt.
40-35.
Love it, Clark. Love it, man. I saw it in the stadium on the scoreboard there. It said it flashed in the first quarter. Vanderbilt was winning 13-0. I said, that's cool. At least we could say, Vandy had a big lead, a double-digit lead on them again. But I never thought it would hold up. And then, Clark, what I loved about it was you would think, well, maybe DeBoer and Alabama's going to come. Defense, Kane Walmack going to make adjustments at halftime. They scored, I think, late in the first half to make it like a 2-point game or so going into the half, you know. And but then the second half comes, and Alabama's defense can't stop Vanderbilt. The Commodores, Clark, what's his name, the quarterback?
Oh, Diego
Pueva.
Something
Something
I can't
like
remember.
that. Diego Pueva definitely has got one of the squiggly lines above one of the vowels in his last name. Diego Pueva, Clark, just came out, put on an offensive clinic. Great job by Vanderbilt's offensive coordinator. I mean, you remember we were watching the shovel pass.
Yes.
Great utilization of the shovel pass right there. Getting the defensive line to over-pursue, and then just Pueva cool as a cucumber, Clark. Just giving those shovel pass to have a big explosive right there. Speed option for a touchdown. I mean, a mixed bag. What I loved about it, to Clark Lee, man, he was playing, Clark, when he got the lead. He didn't go into a shell like, oh, my gosh, we can't lose it. He was playing to win. He was playing aggressive play calling on the offensive side of the football. Big turnover there, strip sack on Jalen Milroe. Those guys did what they had to do. It's something they will never forget, what Vanderbilt fans will never forget. I hope they celebrated all night, man. That's the beauty of college football. Glad that the Vanderbilt Commodores could kind of get one of them, and I'm glad it wasn't against Georgia.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Just picture this, folks. Just envision this. Alabama rolls into town, into Athens. We beat them in a thriller. We get up on them 28-0. They come back, but then the last second heroic by Dylan Bell, and he scores, and we win the game. and it's amazing. It's the game of the year, and everybody's talking about us.
Oh,
And we're the #1 team, man. And we got Vandy. Oh,
Fun trip to Nashville.
Fun
Not
trip.
a business trip,
No.
a vacation. Go listen
Vacation.
to some good country
Yeah.
music, eat some good hot chicken.
Right,
Have a
right.
great time. We're
Just have a
feeling high
ball.
on life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just a celebration. Going to take
Yeah.
over the stadium.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome and just a great time. Oh, yeah, just come on, everybody.
Our legendary coach said every venue in the SEC is tough to play in, but this one, right?
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
just
'cause
a
you
relaxing
outnumber them.
time, right? It's a
Right.
relaxing time.
Yeah, you outnumber them in their own stadium. So
It's a vacation.
You go up there and you just crap your pants. You just lay an egg. And honestly, give credit to the Vanderbilt Commodores, Adam. You said it. I mean, they had a game plan.
They did.
They did. And they had a
executed.
running quarterback. And I'm just saying, running quarterbacks this year, go look at USF. They give Alabama fits defensively.
Yep. Well,
So, I don't know.
The 4-2-5 defense of Kane Womack. And Vanderbilt's just whole coaching staff, man, good on them.
Good on them.
That is just awesome. What I love about it wasn't a fluke win. It wasn't like Alabama just turned the ball over and stuff, and Vanderbilt kind of hung around in the sense of, and then kicked the game. No, Vanderbilt went and executed and put 40 on the board, Clark.
Yeah.
All throughout the game, from kickoff to the end of the game, Clark, Alabama's defense could not stop Vanderbilt,
Yeah.
and Vanderbilt extended drives, kept the ball out of Jalen Milroe's hands for the most part, and that's how they won the football game, I feel like.
Vanderbilt
Drove
was
it down their throat, baby.
Yeah, Vanderbilt was 0-60. 0-60. Never won a football game against an AP top 5 team. That streak is done. It's over. Congrats, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, congrats, Vanderbilt.
I'll say it one time and one time only. Anchor down. Go Commodore. We'll go Doors.
Wasn't it
We'll
a
do
great
this.
feeling at the end of the game? You know, usually the stadium erupts after a big home win.
Yeah.
You know, it was full of Alabama fans, so it was quiet. But then you hear the foghorn.
Yes.
The classic Vanderbilt foghorn.
Oh,
and
my
I've
gosh.
been there. I've been to a game in Vanderbilt Stadium where Georgia has lost, and it's miserable.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we didn't have any championship aspirations at that point in
Right,
time.
right.
And we'd already lost some games in 2013. But when the game ends and your favorite team just got beat by Vanderbilt, and then they delivered the death punch with the foghorn to cap it off.
That's when you know.
It's a demoralizing feeling. It's a blow, man. It's
Yeah.
a blow. So
Last thing I want to say about this
literally
game.
a blow.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. The last thing I want to say about this game, they played Nick Saban. I mean, this was moments after they won. The students are rushing the field 2 by 2 down the stairs.
Like Noah's Ark.
Like Noah's Ark.
Yep.
And they're playing Nick Saban on the Jumbotron in the construction zone, talking about how, it's not hard to beat Vanderbilt in Vanderbilt.
You know, it is. Maybe like some of these Vanderbilt alums, these doctors, that's gone on and had great medical careers and making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Are going to be like, wait, maybe we need to invest more in Vanderbilt's
Oh,
program. So
yeah.
maybe a few more checks will be stroked, get a few more construction workers out there and speed up the construction a little bit. After this win, maybe we could get some, some finished product in the construction.
Good on Vandy.
Good on
man.
Vandy, man.
Golly. Adam, this game, though, trumps them all right here. The game of the week last week, University of Laverne Leopards at the University of Redlands Bulldogs. Redlands, the Bulldogs, beat Laverne 38-17. Adam, I don't even remember who I picked.
I think I picked Laverne. I think I
have
picked
no
Laverne.
idea.
and
Yeah,
they
you
laid
picked
an
the
egg.
Leopards. Oh, I picked Bulldogs because I pulled for Bulldogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to go on the road in a hostile environment like that. So I mean, you really 21 points. It's not good, Clark.
No.
But you're away from the friendly confines of Laverne
Yeah.
College,
Wherever
right?
the heck that is out in California.
I mean, it's something that I think is going to be a wake-up call for Laverne, and hopefully they have a better second half of the season.
Yeah.
And they point back at this game and be like, this is where it started,
It started,
right?
the
This is where the
turnaround.
team chemistry, leaders were developed in the
Yes,
locker room
yes,
after this
Adam.
game, right?
That's right.
So that's kind of what we're hoping to see
Yeah.
going forward.
I love it.
Great, man.
All right, let's talk about some games this
Yeah,
week.
baby.
What a great slate, man. I mean, this was one of the weeks we circled and was like, man, this one is going to be awesome.
What's to come?
We don't know.
What's to come?
South Carolina at number 7, Alabama. Bama's favored by 22.5 points. A 12 o'clock ABC kick.
Oh, is this it's high noon in Bryant-Denny?
Yeah, it's going to be 11 a.m. there.
Oh man, that stadium will be dead. I mean, you talk about the exact opposite of what we were there and saw with everybody and their brother at that game to just losing to Vanderbilt
Listen.
at 11 a.m. It's going to be Dead. You hear a pin drop.
This Alabama team could go one of two ways. I'd like to think, knowing their culture at Alabama, they are going to come back out and punch Carolina in the mouth. However, if this is truly not the same team as it was last year under Saban, they may come out and lay an egg. And I'm not saying necessarily get beat, but they're not going to cover 22.5.
Do you think Saban would have let Malachi Moore just say, no, I'm not getting subbed?
Yeah.
They ran a DB in, and Malachi Moore's like, no, send him back. The defensive coordinators came on Matt, was like, all right, fine, whatever. And then he pitches a fit, kicks the ball at the end, throws his mouthpiece. I mean, that right there, I inject it all in my vein. I love it. And I know
even though we beat by
even though we got beat by him, whatever, it just shows that it's not like they just picked right up where Saban left off with Kalen DeBoer. And I love the fact that it's happened like that. I think, Shane Beamer is salivating at the mouth, thinking that maybe I could go in the Bryant Denny. I could get my career signature win, right?
Something Kirby can't
Clark
do.
Lee, something Kirby can't do, but Clark Lee gave me the blueprint, right? He's thinking I could get all the fame. He's probably in the mirror practicing his speech of what he would deliver at the 50-yard line with Alyssa Lang or Heather Dinich or whoever it may be, or, Molly McGrath, Molly, whoever.
Molly,
whoever. One of them out there, he's probably practicing, getting all amped up for it. Only to go get beat 41-17.
That's what's going to happen. Who are we kidding? Alabama's going to come out and smack them around. I think, right?
It's going to be fun to watch.
This is I wouldn't touch this spread with a 10-foot pole. 22.5 points, though, that's a big spread.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. We'll see what kind of an Alabama team they actually are this Saturday. I'm actually, I'll go with Alabama for the win, but I don't think they're going to cover.
No, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Number 1, Texas versus number 18, Oklahoma.
In Dallas.
In Dallas.
In the
Red River rivalry.
The place at halftime you could go get cotton candy outside the stadium and play a little skee ball.
Yeah.
Play a little skee ball, maybe throw a ring on a glass bottle and win your date a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Right? A big oversized bear that you don't know what you're going to do with it. It's just going to sit in your upper closet and collect dust. But as the man, you got to pay $20 to get 4 chances to throw a ring at a glass bottle that's rigged, right?
Right.
But you got to do it for the woman, right?
Yeah,
you got to do
fun.
it. You got to do it. And you can do that at halftime, right? And then eat a funnel cake.
What an environment.
What an environment. In Texas. Clark, Oklahoma has dominated this football game. Upset Texas last year. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I do.
You remember that game?
I do. Dylan Gabriel.
There ain't no love in Oklahoma this Saturday in Texas, Clark.
Uh-oh.
Longhorns win.
Give me Longhorns to cover. Oklahoma's playing a little bit better. I think they've got the quarterback situation maybe figured out. Texas really hasn't played anybody, though. I don't know. God, you sit here and think, oh, yeah, Texas.
Oh, and after last week, Oklahoma definitely can win it. I wouldn't touch this spread. I wouldn't
touch it either. Give me Texas to win outright, but God, I don't know if they're going to cover.
So you're saying Texas is going to win, a Georgia team's going to an undefeated Austin, Texas, ranked number 1 Texas.
Oh, that's happening. Yeah.
I like it.
Give me that. I want it.
I want it too. Give it the spotlight.
Yep.
Everything's
all right. Number 4, Penn State at USC. The Big Ten game, by the way. 3:30 CBS. Gosh, that's so ridiculous. Penn State is favored by 4 points. Is this an upset alert? Are we putting Penn State on upset alert?
Southern Cal just got beat by Minnesota.
PJ Fleck. Is that his name?
Yeah, the row your boat man.
Yeah.
The guy that rows boats.
Right.
He wears a tie.
I kind of like PJ Fleck though.
He's a motivational guy.
Sure.
He's a lunch pail. He's a lunch pail guy.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
He is a lunch pail guy. I like what he's done. But yeah, I mean, Lincoln Riley, golly. What a terrible program and culture he builds. I really think. But James Franklin, is Penn State the number 4?
No, they're not.
And this is in L.A.?
Yeah, this is in L.A.
This is another.
3:30. And Penn State's only favored by 4 here. It's not like, a 10-point spread.
Give me the Trojans.
Okay.
Why not?
Adam, are you saying fight on?
Fight on, baby. Fight on.
This may be wishful thinking, Adam, but I'm with you. Fight on.
Fight on. Fight
Miller
on.
Moss.
Bum 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 bum. Great.
I'm telling
Great.
you, my dad, when he coached middle school football, I don't know if he did this with your team, but with my team, we would come out to the field with that song.
With USC.
It was USC's fight song. It's the most bizarre thing. I'm thinking, what in the world? All 10 people in the stands.
That's great. That's great.
Very interesting stuff.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, Florida at number 8, Tennessee.
Ah, man.
7 o'clock, ESPN in Neyland. I think maybe the Vols. I don't know. The Vols are loyal, man. They've just grown accustomed to heartbreak and hurt. They'll show up. I don't think this environment's going to be. Yes, it's a meteor game.
We haven't talked about one this year.
Adam, reiterate. Tell the people who may
For
be
the
new
first
here.
time in 2024, Clark, we have a meteor game.
Okay.
Clark, like you asked for, the definition of a meteor game, folks, is when you do not like either school. You do not, any fan base, you don't respect the state. You don't respect anything about either of the two cultures, right?
Right.
Clark? So therefore, it is hard to say, hey, I'm going to sit down and watch this football game and I'm going to cheer for X, right?
Yeah.
You're going to cheer for X school. No, what you cheer for is a meteor to crash on the 50-yard line and nobody wins the football game.
And nobody gets hurt.
And nobody gets
We don't
hurt.
want anybody to die.
Just a meteor just cancels the football
There you
game.
go.
Nobody wins. That's what you're pulling for when you're watching the game.
Yeah.
This is a meteor game, a classic meteor game from dating back in the 90s, man. Both two teams that in the 1990s, thank God we're not in that area anymore, who gave the Georgia Bulldogs a lot of heartbreak. Always will hate both of them. Always will. Classic. Probably the game that the definition meteor game was started with.
Sure.
Florida at Tennessee, Clark.
Yeah. Give me Tennessee to win. I do think if this were in the swamp, we may be singing a different tune.
We did last year.
We did, yeah. And we
Billy-
said Florida would win, and they did.
Does Sunbelt Billy really cement that he owns Josh Heupel?
No.
Does he, though?
I think Nico and company regroups. They put it on the Florida Gators. They get mad. They play good ball. And I hate it. And I wish Florida,
Clark.
I know it sounds weird, but I wish
Clark.
Florida would beat Tennessee.
Heupel struggles with Sunbelt Billy. You think
He
2
does.
years ago in Neyland, really Florida just gave it away to him. Florida beats them in Neyland in Gainesville last year. Sunbelt Billy knows how to coach against Josh Heupel.
You're right about that, but I don't
But you're
know.
not thinking this is the year.
Nah,
Sunbelt Billy just got some confidence, Clark. He just beat Gus Malzahn
that is true.
in the
UCF.
Central Florida Fighting Knights.
At home, though.
Tennessee's going to win the football game.
Oh, yeah,
But,
Tennessee.
it was just a good build.
Oh, yeah.
Just a good build.
I was waiting
Did you
for
like
you.
that? Did you
I
like
was
yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for you to do a Gator chomp.
No, I
just kidding.
No.
All right, moving on here. Number 2, Ohio State, 3.5-point favorites over number 3, Oregon, 7:30 NBC in Eugene. Dan Lanning, Ryan Day, Adam. This is going to be a heck of a game. One in which we'll be catching the sort of the second. We'll be watching the second quarter of, because that's when Georgia should be wrapping up.
Yeah.
Who do you like in this?
Oh, great football this week. I think because it's in Austin, give me Oregon, Clark.
I think on paper Ohio State wins this.
Oh, absolutely. But
man, yeah, Eugene's, and that's the first like premier game they've had there in a long time.
yeah, at home, veteran quarterback for Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Oregon. Give me Dan Lanning winning the big one.
Wow. I'm going to go Ohio State. It's going to be a thrilling game. It's going to be back and forth, good tug-of-war matchup. Adam, what uniforms is Oregon going to wear?
All green, black helmet.
Ooh. Yeah, I kind of do like those.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a million different combinations out there. I kind of respect it. You know, I love the traditional silver breeches, red helmet, red jersey. But golly, wouldn't it be fun sometimes just to rip out just some new stuff?
Whatever. Yeah, I mean.
Give me the black jerseys at least, something. All right, and then our last game on the pick'em. Number 9, Ole Miss at number 13, LSU, 7:30 ABC.
Yeah, classic rivalry game right here, Clark. Brian Kelly, Lane Kiffin. Who you got?
I'm going to go with, ooh, man, this one's.
It's in Baton Rouge.
No, yeah,
This
it's in
is
Baton
a
Rouge. Give me
sneaky game.
Brian Kelly. Give me Brian Kelly in the LSU Tigers.
Give me Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels.
All right.
Going into Baton Rouge. Going to be tough. But
Yeah, it will be.
Man, that's a good slate right
It
there.
really is, man.
Man.
Good football this week. Good football indeed.
I also wish we were playing at noon.
I know. Yeah. Just so we could watch all these.
Yeah.
All right. Our new segment here.
All right, here we go, baby. New
Not
segment.
a game of the week, but we're going to do something a little bit different. It's called Pick Six.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We're going to call it Pick Six. It's a draft style. We'll call it showdown where you and I, Adam,
Okay.
will each pick 3 items on a specific topic. Whether it's tailgate snacks, iconic college traditions, the best uniforms, we'll fill in a new topic each week. So it gives us a total of 6 picks per episode, hence pick 6.
Right.
And a little play on words there.
I like it. I like it.
So after we make our case for our selections, it's going to be our listeners' turn to vote and to see who has the best list.
Now,
we're not playing for anything, Adam, you and I. Just bragging rights.
Just bragging rights. I like it.
And I want to beat you, and I'm sure you want to beat me.
Absolutely do. Absolutely.
We're going to leave it up to the people to decide who has the best list each week for pick 6. All right.
do it.
So this week's topic, what we're going to be talking about and drafting, is our 3 concession stand snacks. So you go into the concession stands and you got to load up on 3 items. What are you getting? Okay. Now, who should start? We're going to.
You go ahead.
No, let's do we'll do rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
How about that?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Shoot. Yes.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. One time.
One
no
time.
best 2 out of 3.
No.
Okay.
Here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Dadgummit.
All right,
Always
here we go,
pick
baby.
scissors,
Let's
please.
go. Let's go. All right, Clark, open it up. Open it up, Clark. I'm going to say, give me, when I go to the concession stand to get some food, give me popcorn.
Ooh.
Give me popcorn. This is a staple at every arena, every movie event that you go to. What I like about popcorn, Clark, is you're not in a hurry to munch it down. And that way, it's something that if the temperature, it's not like you're like a hot dog or a hamburger where you need to go ahead and eat it. It could get cold. It's something that you could kind of graze during the whole contest, man, that it could last you a long time. It's not something that you need to get in position, find the right time to eat it, to get it down where, you in the sense that there's a time frame when you can digest it, in a sense, right? For it to be satisfying. So give me popcorn.
Popcorn's not a bad pick, Adam, but I'm telling you, the Sanford Stadium popcorn recently has been awful.
I mean, I'm just talking about in a perfect world right here. Popcorn is buttered and ready to go.
Okay.
Like popped at an Amstar movie theater.
All right, Adam, I'm going with my first concession stand snack, boiled peanuts.
Woo,
now,
man.
this is a strong one, and it's kind of off the wall, but hear me out here, people.
Yeah.
You can eat these whenever. It could be a cold football game. In fact, they're better cold or during cold football games. You can eat them at warm football games. It doesn't matter. Boiled peanuts, if you live in the state of Georgia, boiled peanuts are just good any time of the day. They're easy to snack on in the same sense.
Yeah.
Popcorn,
I agree with that.
you get a handful and you kind of pick at them, and it takes a little work. And that might be a downgrade, but man, you just can't beat the taste. A good boiled peanut, man.
Yep.
It's unbeatable.
And just like popcorn, it feeds a family too. Feeds multiple people.
Yeah.
It feeds multiple people.
You got to get the big quarts.
Right.
Cup, so.
Oh, better than styrofoam. Strong pick right there, Clark. Strong pick. All right, man. So, we're going with these traditional concession stand foods, right? So, I'm going to go with my next selection, and you have to, man, a hot dog.
Oh.
Give me a hot dog, man, especially baseball, football. It doesn't matter the event. A hot dog, everybody loves a hot dog, right? So, give me 2 hot dogs. Give me 2 hot dogs right there coming out of the gate. Hot dog and popcorn complement each other as far as you get a hot dog off the rip that you can eat before the game to really set the tone of getting full and ready to cheer. And then if you get some popcorn that you could just graze throughout. Hot dog, man.
Not bad.
An American staple at a sporting event.
Okay. All right. Adam, 2 strong
Row
ones.
60 staple.
It is, yeah. All right. I'm going to go with my second pick. I'm going to go with a barbecue sandwich, or just barbecue in general, because some people serve different types of barbecue at different games. Barbecue, man, once again, it's a Southern thing, although there are some other renditions of barbecue other places in the nation. Everybody has their own style, their own flavor. You just can't go wrong with barbecue. It's good and hearty. It fills you up. It's kind of the same thing, right? As a hot dog. So, barbecue, you just can't beat it. It doesn't matter. It could be pork.
Yeah.
It could be brisket. It could be ribs. I don't know of many places in a concession stand that serves ribs, but if there is a place, sign me up. I bet Mercedes-Benz has it. So anyway.
That's strong selection, man. It especially, you're seeing that kind of come into these stadiums now. It's not a traditional food like my 2 items I've listed up off, but you're seeing it more in venues now. So barbecue definitely. Right. I would counter argue to make my case that barbecue is a little bit too messy. In confined areas, you have a risk of spilling it on the guy in front of you or getting sticky fingers that you're going to have to, after you're done eating at your seat, getting barbecue sauce on your mouth and to go wash off in the bathroom and missing some game time
Oh,
play.
no,
When you can just eat it one hand with a hot dog, one hand with popcorn. You're not messing it. You're not getting messy.
All right. I want to rebuttal to that. Hold up. I want to rebuttal. If you're smart with how you eat it, you're not going to get too messy. And a lot of times they give you a moist towelette. I hate that word, but they do give you a moist towelette to clean yourself up.
Simplicity in football games, baby. We're not going to eat at a 5-star dining cuisine. It is about football.
All right.
Good food.
All right. Fine.
Just had to throw that out there.
Okay. All right. Your third pick, Adam.
Third pick is give me, let's see, for my third pick, what am I going to go with? I'm going to go with nachos and cheese, Clark.
Really?
Nachos and cheese is a staple. Give me some nachos and cheese, Clark, and give it to me on the side. Give me my cheese on the side. That way that you could really limit, Clark, when I know I just said about messiness right here, but when you get your nacho and your cheese on the side, you can control what your cheese to chip ratio is. Ooh. So that way you are not causing a mess and anything. It's something that I think is a staple. I think when you go hot dog, nacho cheese, and popcorn, that is American concession stands to a T right there. Been that way since the beginning of time. Been that way since Babe Ruth hit a baseball in New York back in the 30s. That's just where we're at. And,
okay.
I think that's it. What do you think? That's the heart and the core of concession stands in American sports.
Wow. Adam, I've got to end strong here because I think your list is pretty good, but I think this might seal the deal for me. Adam, I'm going to go with Dippin' Dots. Dippin' Dots is a Row 60 staple, and I don't care. You can get them on big games.
Yeah.
But you can also get them anytime.
Right.
And honestly, they're one of the foods that you can eat, especially when it's hot. I mean, that's obvious. But when you're in Mercedes-Benz, or you're in these playoff situations, and you want some
big game
sweet treat. Yeah. Dippin' Dots, man. You cannot beat it. There's a lot of different flavors. Everybody loves Dippin' Dots. I like the way that they just kind of all fall into your mouth.
I mean, I mean, it satisfies the whole sweet tooth craving there. So I like it.
So it kind of balances out the salty, the savory. That's the thing. I've got salty, savory, and sweet.
Yeah.
I think mine's a pretty strong list. You got a strong list too, though, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, mine, I went with the heart of the concession stands.
Sure, okay.
The heart of just reading the room, knowing where you're at, what you want. I mean, no, it's not what you're going to get for supper. You're not going to say, I want popcorn for supper. You're going to say, yeah, I want barbecue for supper. You're going to say, yeah, I'd love to get some Dippin' Dots, at the county fair or something. But I would but when you're at a football game, it just, the mind, how the brain works is, I want a bucket of popcorn.
Interesting.
I want some nachos and cheese. When are you going to eat my nachos and cheese? And I'm not talking about the one you get at the local Mexican joint, Clark. I'm talking about the nachos and cheese that you get at these events. That's my list and what I want to advocate to the people when you decide this. Not thinking about what is actually a better food if you're just casually eating at the house. No, what your taste buds want when you're watching tackle football, American tackle football.
Unreal.
Think about that before you vote, people. Thank you.
All right. So to give you all a condensed list, I had Dippin' Dots, I had barbecue, I had, boiled peanuts.
Yeah.
Those are my three. What are your three again?
My three are
nachos, hot dog,
popcorn, nachos, and a hot dog.
That's it.
Simple, good.
So we will do a poll on Facebook and Instagram. I'm curious because those are two strong lists right there.
Yeah.
We'll let you guys decide, and we're gonna see who wins.
Love it, baby.
Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, just hit subscribe. Yeah. All it does is help us. It doesn't send you any spam mail, email, whatever. It just helps us, and it's great. So we've really enjoyed our time here on Row 60, Adam. It's been another great episode. Let's talk about Mississippi State right quick. Score prediction, 4:15 SEC Network.
Yes, sir.
We'll be there. Can't wait. Adam, I think Dogs roll. Mississippi State is atrocious. We're the superior Bulldogs. We're going to absolutely steamroll them. 45-9. Dogs on top.
I heard that, Brady. Yep. I heard that. There we go. Clark, man, we're reaching the halfway point after this football game. The college football regular season is halfway over. That's always sad to me. I hate it because it just flies by. It goes by too fast. Seems like yesterday we were getting ready for Clemson, but it is what it is. And then now, though, we're blessed with an extended postseason. So we'll see what happens there. Clark, as much as this Georgia fan base is just the past 3 games just being, the loss, having to deal with actually losing a game in the regular season this year, just the atrocity of that, that you hear people just the meltdowns. Keep this in mind, Georgia fans. Georgia is only one of the select few football teams who realistically still have a chance to win a national championship from a talent standpoint, from what the body of work has been in the first half of the season. Yes, even with a loss, Georgia's still in contention at the halfway point of the regular season. A lot of big Georgia football games and times to get rowdy, make memories coming up this second half of the season, man, after this Mississippi State game. Great appetizer and warm up to that. Hey, don't overlook this Mississippi State team, but I'll tell you right now, Clark, it's going to be a fun day in Sanford Stadium for this team to get clicking, just what the doctor ordered before going on the road for a month, baby. Get to Sanford, enjoy this one, get loud, enjoy it with family and friends. Georgia's going to win this football game 38-6, baby,
Nice.
and then it is time to get ready for the big one in Austin, Texas that we've had circled for a long time against the #1 ranked team in the country. But first, let's beat Jeff Lebby and the Bulldogs. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!
Baby.